Thousands of people from around the world are rallying behind a Southside teenager who is battling cancer. It is a really inspiring story to see what people are doing for young Caleb, all part of our Facebook Live conversation with you tonight on this Thursday night. We're getting closer to the weekend. That's the good news. The bad news, our Indiana Pacers are getting blown out tonight in Washington. Looks like their season is minutes away from being over, and it's going to be interesting to see what the Pacers do in the offseason as we continue to watch the blue and gold come to the end of their regular season tonight, losing big time to the Washington Wizards. Also coming up on Facebook Live this evening, if you do mobile banking, we need to have a conversation tonight because our 13 Investigates reporter Bob Segall has found that there's check fraud that is becoming a real problem. In fact, it's a $1 billion a year problem. Bob is going to break down his special report that you're going to see coming up on 13 News at 11 o'clock. Bob and I will have a conversation, and you're going to learn how these thieves are literally stealing checks out of mailboxes, scratching out the name, putting their name on there, and how it's costing Hoosiers thousands of dollars. That's coming up tonight on The Big Show. And we want to start our evening with Angela because Angela, my friend, feels like summer here in Indiana, doesn't it?
It does. Low to mid 80s today, most of us 80 to 85, and we could go even warmer for the upcoming weekend.
Really?
Yes. So
okay.
Grab the sunglasses, grab the hat, the sunscreen, an extra bottle of water, especially if you're going to spend some time outside. Maybe you're headed to Fast Friday.
Yeah.
At the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we're forecasting 66 at 8 a.m. and 80 by noon.
My goodness.
That means we're going to have several hours tomorrow in the 80s, mid 80s for highs is what we're calling for, and then even warmer for the weekend. Qualifying weekend out at IMS.
Yep.
Hot and humid Saturday, 87. May have a couple more clouds around on Sunday and a slight chance for a late afternoon or early evening pop-up storm. But those are very much going to be like the summertime variety where we get hot, we get humid, and one or two storms pop up. But that's it. Big story, 85 to 90 for the upcoming weekend. Now, our record highs are in the low 90s. I think we missed those this weekend, but definitely warm for the end half of May by about 10 degrees or so.
So did I miss spring weather? Did we just bounce right from winter to summer?
You know, we have had some 70s, but coming off that cool Mother's Day when we only had 48, which doesn't seem that long ago, and then all of a sudden to be in the upper 80s, it does feel like we missed out on a few days.
It would have been nice. Here are some of our Facebook friends checking in with us tonight. Pamela saying hello, everyone. Joyce, good evening from Versailles. Liz is with us almost every night saying hi all tonight. Missy is joining us tonight saying hello. And Teresa also saying hello, Scott and Angela. Let us know where you are watching Facebook Live. How you feeling as we're getting closer to the weekend? Be sure to put that in the comment section, and we'll go ahead and give you a shout out over the next 10-15 minutes. You had a pretty good evening tonight?
Had a great evening. The weather is so nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you walk outside, you don't need a sweatshirt, you don't need a coat, you don't need anything. It definitely has that kind of calm, warm summer feel.
Yeah, good.
But I'm ready for the weekend, I have to admit.
I am too. All right, Angela, we'll see you in a couple of minutes. We do want to turn our attention to our big story coming up tonight on 13 News at 11 o'clock. And one of the stories that we're going to be talking about tonight is this issue with mobile banking. There is this dark side, according to our 13 Investigates reporter Bob Segall, who has got a special report that you are definitely wanting to watch tonight. Of course, most of us during the pandemic used mobile banking as a way to make it convenient because, I mean, all you have to do is you just use your phone. You go ahead and take a picture of your check, deposit your check into the bank, send, checks to different places. But our Bob Segall told me earlier tonight that there is a problem with mobile banking. Listen to this.
There's a huge increase in mobile banking because for a while banks were closed or lines to get to banks were really long. So really going to the bank wasn't a great option. So a lot of people started using mobile banking, which is so convenient. You can just use the app on your phone. If you need to deposit a check, you just point, shoot, take a picture of it, and boom, no need to go to the bank, no need to go to an ATM. It's super convenient. The problem with this is we're not the only ones who have realized how convenient mobile banking is. Criminals have discovered that too. And they are now using this new technology to really commit an old crime, check fraud. And a lot of folks don't understand or realize how this is working. I didn't realize how big a deal this really was until I was contacted within just a matter of a few days by two separate folks in Indianapolis. They both own businesses. They were targeted in some cases at their businesses, in some cases at home, by fraudsters who used mobile banking to drain their bank accounts. And I got to tell you, in some cases, the criminals who are doing this is not high-tech stuff here. This is really a low-tech crime that is very effective. And I want you to see in some cases just how easy it is for this to happen, as well as how banks are kind of allowing it to happen. Take a look at this clip.
3 checks for a total of $21,000 we lost.
These are the checks Rob is talking about. He says after they were mailed, someone stole them and changed the names. Instead of going to vendors, the checks went to Michael King, Martwan Rowe Williams, and Hannah Ivy. Who are those people?
I have no idea how to answer that question.
And look at that check. The altered name and address were literally cut and pasted onto the document, and yet a bank still cashed it. I mean, as far as con jobs go, this isn't even a good one.
It's ridiculous. I don't know how it ever got past anyone.
So, Bob, are banks aware that this is going on? And if so, are they doing anything about it?
Banks have been trying to deal with this problem for quite a while, especially because check fraud is one of their biggest losses. Is actually more than $1 billion in a single calendar year. And that was even before the real uptick in mobile banking took place back in 2018. So yeah, banks are aware of this. They are trying to tackle the problem, but we're going to explain to you why these really blatantly fraudulent checks like the ones you just saw are still getting through. And we'll also pass along tips on what you can do to help prevent this from happening to you. All that's coming up here tonight on 13 News at 11.
That is a really important story for all of us to watch tonight. We'll see you tonight at 11. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, so that's one of the stories that we're going to want to see tonight on 13 News at 11 o'clock. And one of our viewers, Liz, says, yikes. And I think that's one of the things when we are using mobile banking and we think about these criminals going into your mailbox, taking your the checks that you're sending to people, scratching out your name, putting their name, going to the bank and cashing them, that's a real problem. So again, this is costing Hoosiers lots of money. You're going to definitely want to see 13 Investigates special report coming up tonight on 13 News at 11 o'clock. All right, let's bring in Angela, because Angela, we do want to talk a little bit about this. Do you do mobile banking at home? I mean, is that something that you guys do?
Yeah, we haven't run into any issues, and it has to be a certain way on the back as far as the signature and what words are there and part of the account number,
right?
The last few digits. So ours is pretty particular, and usually the funds aren't there immediately.
Right.
So it does sound like, at least at our bank, that they do some looking. Okay, was this scratched out? Because you couldn't take that into a bank.
Right.
If it's scratched out, you know, even if you scratch it out and initial it, that doesn't really fly anymore.
Sure.
So ours usually takes a couple of days for the funds to be available. So it kind of leads me to believe, at least I hope, that somebody is taking the time to look at that before they say, oh, okay, it's okay for that to go in. But if every bank isn't doing the same, then you know, you're kind of at the mercy of, as a couple of our people put, you know, maybe not taking their due diligence on the bank side.
Yep. Well, that's going to be coming up tonight on 13 News at 11. It'll be very interesting to find out, because Bob always, with his special reports, always gives us tips in terms of what we can do right now to go ahead and make sure that we prevent this kind of thing from happening to us. So I'm going to be watching this story with great interest tonight, along with Angela tonight on 13 News at 11. All right, we're ready to talk to Lauren right now and see Milo tonight, Angela?
Definitely. No chance for Milo yet, but all we have to do is say his name. And I don't know if Lauren has ever bought Milo treats.
Right.
But Rachel Ray, I think it's her brand.
She's actually got Milo treats?
I think that's what they're called. I'll have to Google it. But I have them at home for Chewie, and so I pulled it out this morning. I'm like, wait a minute. It's like Lauren and Milo on the front of the bag.
Right. Okay. Well, let's bring Lauren in and talk to Lauren tonight and find out not only about her dog, but, of course, Milo. There she is. There. Lauren, usually you're using cheese, right? Isn't that what you use?
I brought out, my boyfriend let me, I brought out the fancy cheese, so I think it's working. Okay,
so again, Murphy is the one closest to you, right? Yeah. And then Milo is the other one, right?
You got it, you got it. Okay. He wanted to be a star too, so.
All right, so cheese it is, not Milo treats, correct?
No, but I need to check out those Milo treats. They like this cheese though. I think we found a winner.
It's amazing that you're able to do any work at all with those cute dogs around the house. But with Milo in your arms, go ahead and tell us about the story that you're going to bring us tonight on 13 News at 11 o'clock. The best thing we've seen today.
Right. I mean, it just shows you the power of social media. So this 9-year-old, his name is Caleb, and they live on the south side of Indianapolis. And about a year ago, he was diagnosed with brain cancer. They found a tumor in just a small part of his brain. It's a small gland. And, doctors told his mom it's, a super rare form of cancer. So he's been going through treatment. They're actually down in Memphis, Tennessee at St. Jude Hospital right now. It's just so difficult. You're going in and out of appointments, all the medical terms. So to make him smile, make him and his mom laugh, his aunt posted on Facebook and said, hey, Caleb's kind of losing his hair and it's making him sad. So if anyone has a hat, send it their way. And she put the address down. Next thing you know, his mom walks into this room at the Ronald McDonald House and sees thousands of hats. It was just the coolest thing. And so some of the hats were funny. He had a fish hat. There was a pirate hat. He said his favorite hat was one that with a fish going through and the back of it kind of flopped back and forth. So it was awesome. So they're going to actually be coming home tomorrow, and that's he'll be getting another surprise then, and we'll be with his family during that. And then he'll be home for about 6 weeks before going back to see if that radiation worked. So, just a happy story. Who would have thought, thousands of hats, and they actually have to make a whole separate room at the Ronald McDonald House for all of his hats.
Wow.
So, right? Isn't that so cool?
That is so great. I mean, it is so neat that so many people want to participate and bring smiles to Caleb and his family, and we certainly look forward to watching the best thing that we've seen today, your story tonight on 13 News at 11. All right, so Milo seems well behaved, and again, for those viewers here on Facebook that are interested in following him on Instagram, tell us where we can follow Milo.
Milo is at Milo_Golden Cavalier. That's where he's at. He's happy today.
Right. And so does Murphy get discouraged? Because Murphy, that's your boyfriend's dog, right? Does Murphy get discouraged that he doesn't seem to get the same love and attention that Milo does?
Come here, Murphy. Oh,
okay.
Here he is. Now I don't know if I can pick him up. He weighs even more. No, he does not want me to. He hates if I hold him. He's so heavy.
Yeah, no problem. Well, it's got to be a cool job when we can actually talk about your story. You've got dogs there at home. I guess that's one of the joys of virtual reporting tonight, isn't it?
It is, right? Who would have thought working from home I would, have my dogs, I'd be working in my living room. It's crazy. All
right. Lauren, great to see you, my friend. We will see you with the best thing that we've seen today coming up on 13 News at 11. We always love Lauren, and we certainly love Milo and Murphy. Angela, I need to get Chewie on here on the Facebook Live program.
Sometime we'll have to have Mark Skype in one night with Chewie or Grace. or
I
Luke
mean,
something.
I think it'd be fun to do that. And, maybe just throughout the entire Facebook Live, we just put the Chewie cam down here at the bottom part of the screen so we can kind of watch Chewie and see Chewie's adventures. Does Chewie go for walks on hot days like today?
I was going to walk her the half mile like I tried to do every day, and she went 2 houses in.
And gave up?
Yeah, did what she needed to do and then turned around and headed home. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. We'll skip it today.
All right, so for people that have just joined us and have missed your earlier forecast, tell them about the heat that's coming.
Yes, hazy sunshine tomorrow, fast Friday at the track, mid-80s. In fact, we're going to be 80 at noon tomorrow.
Wow.
I know.
Right, nice.
So we're going to heat up fast. And then 87 Saturday, 86 Sunday. I'm just going to call for a widespread 85 to 90 all the way through Tuesday of next week.
Wow, so we don't really have much rain in the forecast at all?
No, really not until Wednesday of next week when we'll get a better chance for more coverage. Do we get a pop-up here and there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? Maybe. But they're very much going to be the summertime variety where 1 or 2 pop on radar and that's it. Better chance will be Wednesday. So I had to water my plants today.
I know. Right.
You have to do that and remember your pets when it starts to get this warm.
That's right. You remember the days when it was racers and pacers this time of year, and we'd have the Pacers, winning games at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, and of course the race would be taking place. Sometimes we'd even be lucky enough to have them on the same day. Not going to happen this year because the Pacers, I don't know, I haven't checked the live.
I haven't checked either.
But they were getting blown out in Washington, and that will end their season. So
well, darn.
Yeah, darn is a good word that I think a lot of Pacer fans are feeling tonight, not being able to get into the tournament. So Washington will be moving on. Pacers will be trying to figure out what to do afterwards. So, and track opens tomorrow in terms of the gates at 10. Racing starts at 12, and as Angela mentioned, it is Fast Friday, so they give those drivers an extra boost. And so it'll be interesting to see how fast they get tomorrow, and we'll be covering it. Dave Calabro and Taylor will be out there again at the track.
And interesting, if we stay this warm over the next, we're 9 days away from the race. They're getting pretty much track race conditions now with the heat. If we would stay in this somewhat summertime pattern, it's not like they're practicing when it's 65 or 70 and then all of a sudden it's 85 race day, which happens a lot.
That's right.
They're definitely getting, weather race day conditions right out of the gate.
Yeah, Tony Kanaan fastest today, and Connor Daly.
Nice.
With the hair. With the hair. He was the second fastest today.
Nice.
So very good. All right, good to be with you, Angela. And Facebook friends, thanks for joining us. We'll continue to comment on your comments until we see you tonight at 11 o'clock over on Channel 13. Have a great evening.